Hello friends, my name is Andy, you're watching What Culture Wrestling. This is your daily news update and there's a lot going on as usual, so let's milk that bastard content cow. So, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, or if you prefer, Adam Cleary's imaginary pixie girlfriend and the female Roman Reigns. They kinda switched gears on this week's SmackDown. As Becky stood over Charlotte, belt in hand, calling her a bitch, bit naughty, it felt like she was being presented as an anti-hero face rather than the forced heel she was a week ago. Well, if you believe Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Live and John Pollock of Post Wrestling, this is exactly what WWE had planned. These fellas brought slightly different takes to the table, but the key point is this. WWE are no longer forcing a strict face-heel dynamic with the duo, and they're just going to let the fans boo or cheer whoever they want. In John Pollock's words, the idea is now much less of a heel-babyface dynamic, and instead it's two ex-friends who both have some valid points, and neither is going to back down from the other. So basically, in a nutshell, WWE don't want to make Charlotte look evil, but they're not going to try and force super babyface Becky into that role either. This is probably a smart move because turning Lynch always felt like a bit of a strange fit in the first place, and she's getting some thunderous reactions. So let's just see how it pans out. It's been a good while since WWE presented a convincing anti-hero, but let's be honest, if anyone in the women's division could pull it off, it's Becky Lynch. In other news, WWE are really stacking the deck for SmackDown's 1000th episode, which takes place on October 16th. The Undertaker is already being advertised for the show, as is a triple main event, including matches between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, The Miz and Daniel Bryan, and Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. But perhaps the biggest story of all comes from Barn Burner's Fired Up podcast, who claim that WWE are very close to booking none other than The Rock for the big episode. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Rocky potentially coming back to WWE lately, with a lot of sources pointing towards a potential WrestleMania 35 match between the Great One and his cousin Roman Reigns. He's the biggest mainstream crossover star in WWE history and someone that Vince McMahon will turn to time and time again whenever he can. So of course the chairman's going to reach out to him for an event like SmackDown 1000, so let's just hope it happens. But whether it goes down or not, SmackDown has been absolutely class lately. The blue brand is on one hell of a hot streak, and at this stage I'm pretty sure that SmackDown 1000 will just outclass whatever the hell Raw 25 was supposed to be back in January. And finally, here's an interesting little tidbit for you, because it looks like WWE and New Japan are set to promote several major wrestling events on the same weekend next summer. According to this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, New Japan will host the finals of their G1 Climax tournament on Sunday, August 11th, 2019, which is of course the same day as SummerSlam. And similarly, on the Saturday, the G1 Climax's B Block finals will go down just a few short hours after TakeOver Toronto. Now obviously this isn't a true head-to-head because both promotions are on opposite ends of the earth and time zones are a thing that exists, but it's still pretty ballsy from New Japan. From a fan's perspective, it's both exciting and potentially exhausting. If you're in the UK, for example, it's going to be a long weekend of wrestling. Say you get up, you want to watch the G1 Climax finals, you're looking at setting your alarm clock for about 7 in the morning. Then, if you stay up all the way through for SummerSlam, you won't be going to bed till about 4 or 5 the very next morning. Better get practicing those naps, I guess. Whatever the case, it seems like New Japan break new records every single G1, and loyal fans are going to find a way to consume the show regardless, so I can't see this doing any harm. Anyway guys, that's all for today. Let us know what you think down in the comments section below about Becky versus Charlotte, The Rock potentially appearing at Raw 1000, and this little kind of mini, sort of maybe not really battle between New Japan and WWE. And once you've done that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And once you've done that, head over to whatculture.com/WWE and check out some great articles from the likes of Jamie Kennedy, Michael Sidgwick and Michael Hamflett. You will have a great time. I've been Andy, and I'll see you later.